Hello and welcome back. I'm Shelf Unit and this is my continuing Let's Play of Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition. Last time we successfully completed our run and now we're just going to claim payment. Ooh, do we have anybody to level up? We do not as yet. He's all done. He's done. She's done. And she's done. Exit. So what we want to do is head back here on the safe boat, claim payment. Workstation, bum bum bum. Blinking messages, messages, jobs directory, claim payment for use to target data. Message pops up from Huang J Min. Money I promised you is attached to this mail. Glad we could work something out. Benefit of both of us. Huang. That's 1300. Go back. Access the Shadowlands. Claim payment for sold data. Claim payment for the experimental areas research. That's another 792. Go back, post pay data for sale. Don't think we've posted anything. Go back. Walk away. Let's go chat to people. Actually, let's have a look at our stash. Because we've got a lot of stuff in the stash right now. It's okay, I suppose. Got tons of items in the stash. What have we got? How have we got on? Armor 6. Yeah, we got some good stuff. Okay. Let's talk to Duncan. Good to see you. Now, leave me alone. I got stuff to think about. What do you think about the last run? What a complete shit show. I thought that Kindly was supposed to vet our clients to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen. I wouldn't bother her right now. She's probably furious. Someone's going to wind up on a one-way trip to the bottom of Hung Horn Bay. Yeah, and it isn't going to be me. I'm keeping my distance till all of this is blown over. All the same, between you and me, it's all her own fault. If she hadn't dropped the ball, this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Huang got the data. Can't say that I like the guy much, but better it go to him than the shit stand that hired us. I'm assuming that means shit stain. Mostly I'm just happy that Tigoth isn't alive and kicking anymore. Bastard got what was coming for him. From him. From him? Should be for him. So, spelling mistake. And that doesn't happen nearly enough in this world. Anyway, enough about that. Anything else? Let's go back to what we were talking about before. You and me. You're right, Les. Guess there's more still to stay. Seems like Carter's death hit you pretty hard. He continues stretching. Yeah, she was a good one. We were a real team. Joining Lone Star helped me in all sorts of important ways. No doubt about it. I really embraced being a cop. I studied my ass off, but no matter how hard I worked, I was never more than a model cop with a brutal streak. There were plenty of assignments that were perfect for a big, mean orc like me. Assignments that would have fed my need to hurt people. But I met Carter about a year in and she changed things. She talked about values and goals and priorities and constructing life you wanted to live. She was a real trip. She was like a good woman. She was a cop, partner, a mentor, and a serious badass when she needed to be. But yeah, she was a good person too. She kept me focused. When Raymond asked me to meet him in Hong Kong, I had a feeling I was going to wind up going off the reservation if I didn't bring Carter along. And she's gone, and here I am. I say you honour her memory by showing her how much you've learned. His mouth drops open and then curves into a grin. He shakes his head, still smiling. I'm sorry. Did Sarah even start? Just give me sage advice. Sounds like you did some growing up of your own. Been waiting a long time to ask me about the night I left, haven't you? He chuckled and hooked his thumbs in his belt. I guess I have, yeah. It's about what you were doing before you got thrown into that court facility. You said some people had messed with you and you weren't going to let them get away with it. How'd it go? Let's just say they didn't get away with it and leave it at that. Whatever you say, Sarah. You ever think about when we were kids? We ended moving through some sort of pattern. Might be Tai Chi. I try not to. What are you talking about exactly? Time before we moved in with Raymond and Mrs. Maloney. Oh, the dark times. We're not exactly talking about an idyllic youth there, sir. Sleeping in dumpsters, running from ghouls, fighting over scraps. Who stops moving, drifts off for a moment, and defending our territory. If we hadn't found that spot in the abandoned building, found Lockjaw and Double Tray, we probably wouldn't be here. So weird to think about that now. I mean, you realize they were teenagers, right? Young as a gobbet. They looked so old back then. But Lockjaw couldn't have been more than 17 tops, and Double Tray was only 13 when. What were we thinking about back then? Thinking about things DT used to say. Who returns to his patterns. He manipulates an imaginary soap bubble between his hands. Improvise, adapt, overcome. That's how you beat the streets. I remember Double Tray saying that. It was while we were living between the red hot nukes and the 162s. Crazy ass dwarf anarchists on one side and flesh-eating ghouls on the other. Those are the days that you long for. Long for? No, I was just thinking that it's the same now as it was back then. His raspy baritone fills the space between bridges that survive and watch each other's back. Yeah, I know. You think you may get crammed up? At Cyber? He shakes his head. Oh my god, how many times are you going to ask me that? Did he give me a satisfying answer? Wu grins, his teeth are blindingly white. I told you one time I was thinking about it when I was 13. Let it go. I'm not going to pollute my body with that shit. You? I'm saving up for something. No judgment here. Just don't put too much of that shit on your body. I've heard stories about folks who went too far. Lost some of themselves. Let's talk later. Yeah, later be good. Don't get me wrong, catching up is nice, but I'm not used to being as social as this. It's one of the reasons why it was so nice to work with Carter. We both appreciated long silences. Sorry, man. She seemed like good people. It's all good. She's gone and I've accepted that. I guess it's just been a big day is all. Anyway, good talk. Catch up with you later. Okay, let's go up the stairs. Chat with Isabelle, see if she's got anything to say. Probably not. Oh, there we go. Any thoughts on the last run? Shakes her head. Bum bum bum. Or a talking shop. Gotta go. Yep, she's just being a unsocial annoyance. And Gobby, my favourite. As you enter Gobbet's cabin, two things grab your attention. The first is Gobbet herself. She looks exhausted, bleary-eyed. The easy smile you've come to associate with her is nowhere to be seen. The second is what she's doing. Gobbet appears to be in a valiant attempt to stuff a whole roasted duck into a saucepan half its size. The bird's rubbery neck flops from side to side with every heave of her shoulders. Is that it? Love the rat statue. She looks up from the saucepan, blinking. The corner of her mouth twitches upward, but the half smile falls away almost immediately. Oh, hey Seattle. Caught me a bad time. I was just making dinner. I've been watching the struggle. Looks like the duck is winning. Huh? She blinks down at the duck and the mouth dips into a frown. No, it isn't winning. It's just being stubborn. I'll make it fit. Don't you worry. She gives the bird another heave. Something gives way with an audible crunch. This would be easier with a bigger pot. I'd have to wash it first, though. She glances down at the piles of dirty clothing and assorted detritus on the floor of her cabin, frowning. And to do that, I'd have to find it. Anyway, you want something, huh? I'm up to my elbows in mallet. You feeling okay? You don't look well. She rubs the bridge of her nose with a pair of greasy fingers, leaving smudges of duck fur behind her. It's weird. Ever since our last lesson, I felt, preoccupied with the sinking ship. I don't really do the whole haunted by the demons in my past thing. I mean, that's fine for some people, but I'm allergic to drama. Generally, when thoughts of the past get me down, I remind myself that it doesn't matter. Laugh it off and go have a snack. But this, I don't know. It's weird. Ever since our last lesson, I haven't been able to get the sinking ship out of my mind. She looks down at the pot full of mangled duck on the counter, closes her eyes. Guess I'm just worried about Cad and Mal. Which is weird, because why would I be? I mean, I haven't even spoken to him in years. Hell, if anything, they should be worried about me. I'm the one who gets shot at for a living. Maybe we should go check it out. Sinking ship isn't far, is it? No, I don't want to do that. No, at least not without a good reason. It'd be awkward, and I'm sure that's nothing anyway. Actually, check that. I know what it is. It's my own personal version of the same thing that we're all feeling. Psychic sewage is being dredged up in all of us by whatever's happening in the walled city. I'm sure you've had some flashes of memory from the Barrens in your bad dreams, right? Images from your past come back to haunt you. But you aren't going to drop anything and go running back there, because that would be dumb. So tell me, why should I? Because the sinking ship's like 15 minutes from here. Couldn't have to check. Look, I don't want to go back there if I don't have to. If thinking about the place is enough to mess with me like this, I don't want to know what being there will do. But I'll tell you what, I'll drop Melfi in her line just to check in, make sure this is a me problem and not a them problem. And if there is something going on, I promise you'll be the first to know. Alright, Gobbet, if that's the way you want to play it. It is. Now, is there anything else you wanted to... Or can I get back to my duck? Any thoughts about the last run? Gobbet's expression darkens, and she flips some ribs of hair back over one shoulder. You know, everyone says it's bad for her to back out on a job. What if the Johnson decides to lie and screw you over? Everyone seems to accept that as standard procedure, but it drives me up the damn wall every time. I'm glad we gave Huang the data rather than Tigath. Maybe a psychopath in charge of a gang of murderous goblins, but he told us the truth at least. Gobbet shrugs. Frankly, it's not my problem anymore. I got paid and I'm done with it. So what else do you want to chat about? Thanks, Gob. Yeah, sure. In Seattle, everything will be fine. You'll see. And if there is anything fishy happening on the second ship, you and Iz will be the first to know. I promise. Okay, well. Time to head out. Talk to peeps. This will be another talky episode, I think. Let's see if... Yeah, we'll go down and talk to these guys playing cards again. Oh, come on, talk. Jen frowns. Look who's back. Why don't you egg a car or something and leave us alone? I, for one, enjoy Rain's visits. The end of a smile touches Lau's lips as Jen grumbles to himself. How can we help you? Sorry to interrupt, I was just wondering if you're still having dreams. This again, don't you have anything better to do? Yes, we're all still having the dreams. Lau's voice is calm but troubled. However, they've gotten a hell of a lot worse. Jen shifts uncomfortably. Look, let's not go into detail. Anything would be if this information could help others. If I tell you, would you go away? You can't make any promises. I told you all. I'll hold you to it all the same. He glances at Lau and Shu before continuing. Our dreams have become unpleasant, so to say, darker, violent. He runs his hand along his tightly cropped beard. Not at all healthy, if you ask me, especially for men of our age. We come out of them in a daze sometimes. Feels like we've been punched in the senses, or in the imagery. Ian James shivers, he thinks about it. Well, I said no details, so no details. None of it sum it up, shall you, Master Lau? Nothing more to add, shall you? Shall you always bore into you? No, nothing. Is everything alright? Shay, you've been staring at me for a while. Shay continues to stare at you, his face pale. He opens his mouth, closes it. He seems to be struggling to find words. What's wrong with you, Shay? You'd better not be having a stroke. We're in the middle of a game. If Shay hurts you and he doesn't show it, he looks at you and his eyes widen. You need to go faster. His voice is urgent, pleading. The shadows that follow you are getting closer. Excuse us, Rain, our friend is tired. Lau clasps a hand to Shay's shoulder. He doesn't seem to notice. These dreams have taken a toll on all of us. Please come back some other time. Sorry, didn't mean to upset anyone. Anyway, enjoy again. Okay, so that was that. Let's go talk to this guy. Reliable Matthew. Reliable Matthew flashes a winning smile as you approach. Well, that was a close one, Rain. Thanks to you, we're back in business. And just for you, I've got a red-hot deal on solar charges, just in time for the sun. He blissfully stares up at the cloudy grey sky. Talk about more about your medicine. Matthew playfully blows the smoke of his cigarette. My medicine? I can't think of a thing to talk about, except how nice it is to see you. Nothing but blue skies over here. Beautiful. Can you unchip? I'd like to talk to you. He sighs heavily through his plastic ring. All right, beautiful. All right. Clutching his cigarette tensely between his fingers, he reaches up into his hair and with a faint click he removes a chip. His expression goes slack and his shoulders slump. Matthew struggles to maintain eye contact as a slow tide of melancholy washes over his face. "Hi, Rain," he says it timidly. He looks around disconsolately at the drone scattered deck. "Here we are." "Why are you doing this to yourself?" Matthew mumbles a reply. "You would too." He lifts his head and looks at you in the eye, tentatively, but with a certain conviction. "I know what people think. Some people like Ambrose don't look down on me. But everyone else, I just want them to leave me alone. I just want to be left alone, okay?" "I don't blame you, brother. Well, it's screwed. It might be the same as one among us." "Thanks, Ray." He gives you a shy nod. There's a deep recognition in his eyes. "I know what I'm doing. I'm going back now." Matthew reaches back up into his hair. There's a faint click as he snaps a BTL back into his data jack. His back ripples as he pulls himself upright and his face transforms with a sudden surge of feeling. "Rain, that was real. I mean real beautiful. You've got some chops on you. Whew." He adjusts his tie with exaggerated gusto. "You know, something I think about, may I tell you? I'm just going to blow your socks." "Sure, Matthew. Go ahead. You're a peach beautiful. So let's get real. Really real." Matthew takes a big, virile breath. He looks around in satisfaction. Hands on his hips. "I'm not Matthew Shannon. I'm not Cool Blue Jazz. I'm both." He cocks an eye. "I think a lot about where I'm from. Some coked up dude on the Simrig, recording his feelings, mass-produced in a factory, shipped out like a commodity. And this other poor guy on a slowly sinking gasoline-reeking drone lot, called a merchant of poverty by his neighbours, along with his drums, the mouldy smell of his trailer. Makes me angry, Rain, angry about this heartless shit that calls itself meta-humanity, but it also makes me proud." "Where are you going with this?" Reliable Matthew taps himself forcefully on the chest. "I'm proud because I'm more than the sum of my parts. Whatever aimless tweak of my feeling come from them, they merge with a guy who's never had a chance, and they alleviate his pain. I live a life of honour." He looks around at the looming walled city, the polluted river, the dilapidated drum yard. I'm like a knight errant, a Yuxia. I'm like the swordsman of Jidao. I fight for humanity. Thanks for reaching out to Matthew. Don't you worry, I'm watching out for him." Reliable Matthew nods in slouched satisfaction, a wizened look on his face. "As long as there's chips, I won't get tired. I'll never leave." He claps his hands together and breaks into a gigantic grin. "Now let's get back to it. Beautiful." Thanks for laying it out. I think we understand each other. Me too, Rain, me too. It's a real pleasure being real. He breaks out in a fresh cigarillo, rips off the igniter with gusto. He bursts to life in a puff of rank blue smoke. He regards you with a sly, exaggerated smile. "Now, my honourable brethren in arms, how can I brighten your day?" "Who are you talking through the whole drone?" "One of my suppliers, Kyung Lam. Really good businessman, sharp guy, sees opportunity where most of us see only broken parts. Funny guy, makes me laugh my ass off." Sounded unhappy. "Oh, that's just Kung Ha. He's like a paper tiger." Matthew sways back and forth on his feet, languid and jittery at the same time. "He's a big joke. We're always shouting, but I think he's really softy at heart. Real big heart for little people. Keeps me well stocked." "What's your business arrangement with Kung Ha?" "I sell on commission. Gotta keep this bus moving. They don't, and they keep sitting out on the barge." "You don't have most of these drones?" Matthew's brows arch up in surprise. "Of course not. How could I afford them? I'm so lucky to have a guy like Kung Ha as a partner. The only problem is he's got me laughing in stitches so much it sometimes distracts me from sales. So that's all I wanted to know. Anything for you, beautiful. You know what I love about Kung Ha? Talking with him is so invigorating. I feel like I could take on the world right now. Goodbye, Matthew." Okay, let's see if we can spend some karma. Now we've got 13 other things. Anything useful that I can get? Get more body. Can't do anything better than that. My charisma. I could get a new edit cap, but I don't think that's really going to do it much anymore. Strength doesn't seem worth it. Quickness is the only thing. And that increases my dodge. Seems about the best thing I can do right now. Let's head. Done that. let's head up to here and see if there's any better gear we can buy. Didn't expect there would be, but cannot hurt to find out. Let's have a look at what you're selling. Armor 8. So now we've got the version of the suit worn by explosives ordnance disposal experts. This one can be customized to be light enough to wear whilst in combat, and it's armor 8. Now we can sell the what just happened? There we are. Selling. Sell items. Let's sell that. And the sand blaster. Can't be asked with anything else. And let's see what weapons she's got. Better sniper rifle. What have I got? Range 18, damage 18. Capacity 6. Shit may have been the minigun. Now that's pretty cool. Capacity 6. That's what we've got. So let's buy smart. Okay. Right. Increased our armor by another 2 points. Let's talk to this guy. Maybe there's nothing we need to talk to. Well, we can have a quick talk to what's her name. If she's there. Is there anything we can talk to about kindly chain? Not that for us now. I have another business. No. Okay. So. This is it. Pop in a quick save here. Oh, I need to get some rest. Let's get some rest. I think that would be a better thing, if it's optional. Never hurts to advance the story a little bit more via the resting mechanisms. Because if this really is our final thing, here we go. Stabbing pain in your stomach jolts you up awake. Your entire abdomen is cramping up. You roll on your cot, willing the shooting pains that radiate from your stomach to go away. Your mouth is bone dry and your tongue is swollen. It feels thick and inarticulate, like a useless slab of meat. A glance at your PDA tells you it's 4 AM. Outside your cabin, the rest of Hayway sleeps. All you remember in the dream is that you woke from a horrible unfulfilled yearning and a need to get where you're going first. Others were behind you and you could feel the heat of their breath on your neck. If you were to beat them to your destination, you could slam the door in their faces and keep them out, away from what was yours. But if they overtook you, you would feel that terrible longing forever. As you gasp at your last fleeting memories of the dream, a wave of exhaustion washes over you. It feels like you've been drugged. Collapse back into your cot and into a black dreamless sleep. When you open your eyes, the sun filters through under your door. It's morning. Okay. Anything else to talk to him about? You offended to find Bruce stalking the floor silently, one hand held rigidly near his hip, the other flexing and unflexing again and again. When he notices you, he nods once and goes back to his caged panther routine. You'll wear a hole in the floor that way. Need something? Yeah, drink. Look like you could use one too. I hear Club 88 has 2 for 1s between 4 and 6 o'clock, but you have to drink them both. Don't put drugs or alcohol in my body. What an amazing specimen you are. So pure, so manly. Drop it. We both know what can happen when I drink. I don't need my judgment impaired like that anymore. I've been thinking about Josephine saying what she did to our family, what she did to Carter. His pace increases a bit and his tusks jut forward slightly. Josephine saying, "God damn Josephine saying." We'll find a way to get out of Duncan. Good, because when we do, the old Duncan is coming out in play. His eyes smolder. Here's what we do. We walk into Sang headquarters and ask for the boss. When she comes down, we grab her, take her somewhere quiet and ask her why she had Carter and those runners killed. Find out what happened to Raymond, whether he's alive or dead. What happens next is up to her. Kidnap a member of the Hong Kong Executive Council while there's an APB out in this? It's bold. They'll never see it coming. This is the way to go. My way. I've never had that before. What, my way? That's right. There's one way this is going to go. He catches himself. Understanding appears in his eyes. Oh, crap. That's what Ray used to say. Raymond Black, a benevolent dictator. No questioning his rules, no falling short of his expectations. It was his way or the wrong way. No, he'd get the full-on Raymond treatment. I didn't care to be on the receiving end of that, and I was more than once, that's for sure. Remember what happened a few years after we moved out of the squad and into his house? Thing with Double Tray and Lockjaw, when he was accused of relapsing back into our old ways. Man, that was when Ray's authority finally got tested. His raspy baritone is tinged with satisfaction when I finally stood up to it. Yep, the way he handled that was part of the reason I eventually left. He just wouldn't listen. I thought that might have been part of it, but to be fair, I wasn't listening either. That was our pattern, wasn't it? I wouldn't listen, he wouldn't listen, then we butted heads, rinse and repeat every few weeks. He smiles, but it's filled with regret. But that time was the worst. His face settles into an expression of resignation. Okay, Mrs. Evenstar, we don't need to do things my way. No need for us to butt heads. He stretches and you can hear his joints crack. And on that note, I'm going to have to ask you to clear out. It's been another long day. I'm getting the feeling they're all going to be long days. Yeah, I'm getting that feeling too. Anyway, have a good night, Sarah. I'll catch you tomorrow. Okay, well, that advanced that on a little bit. Anything for Isabelle? Gotta go. And now back to Gobi. Okay, so she's not in the mood. Let's head out to the waterfront. Actually, no, let's check to see if we've got pay data for set. Our pay data's come through yet. No, access the Shadowlands. Go back. Walk away. And go to the waterfront. Okay. And I think that once we get there, that will be our time up for today. So I'd like to say thank you ever so much for watching. If you've enjoyed, please subscribe. If not, do not worry about it. Thank you again. See you next time. Goodbye.